Hey everybody, welcome. This is The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. I'm Expat 2020. I want to welcome you to the show. This is our first ever episode, episode 1. And my co-host joining me today is Dan out in the UK. Dan, how are you doing, man?
I'm not too bad. What's going down?
Not too much, man. Just chilling out here in Japan. It's a warm afternoon, cloudy every day. So how's the weather out there for you?
It's a bit cold and grey today, unsurprisingly. British
Yeah.
summertime and all that jazz. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were like telling me before the show you didn't get any sleep last night. Why's that?
I did not, because the shop, the store, three or four doors down from me, decided to have their burger alarm go all night long. So I'm a bit frazzled. And I was up late playing games anyway, so it didn't help.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Well, anyway, this is The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. So we will be discussing games not only from PlayStation, not only from Xbox, not only from Switch, but also on the PC end as well. So this is a multi-platform centric podcast. And you can catch us on patreon.com/expat2020. So you will get access 3 days early if you become a patron. And then this podcast will be going up 3 days early, or not early, I'm sorry, 3 days later on the free feeds. So you can get it on the iOS and Android apps. And then it'll also go up to my YouTube channel, which is Expat 2020 Gaming. So I hope you can check it out there. So, Dan, why don't you start by telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and what you've been playing recently?
My name is Dan. I'm from England. I too lived in Japan for a while, and I currently work for the Centre for Computing History in Cambridge, which is like a computer museum. And my bag is a lot more about the retro stuff. That's what I'm into. Um, Recently, I've been playing. Oh dear, I've been playing a lot of Deadly Premonition Origins on the Switch, which has been quite fun. And I've been dabbling with Bus Simulator on the PlayStation 4, which is as fun as that sounds.
Hmm. Tell
What
me
are
a
you
little
playing?
bit about Bus Simulator. Is that mostly just driving a bus all the time?
It literally is exactly that. There's also a little management aspect to it, so you can buy additional buses and hire people to drive the buses around routes that you've created.
Mm,
It's pretty strange,
I
but
see.
oddly relaxing.
I see. Cool. Well, I'm Expat 2020 and I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm a Twitch affiliate, and you can catch me on twitch.tv/expat 2020. Recently, I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. It's a very, very beautiful game. A little bit historically inaccurate. I gotten some flack on Twitter about that, but yeah, I mean, it's fun nonetheless. It's a really cool game, and it's very fun to play in Kurosawa mode. Kurosawa mode is the black and white mode of the game, which is honoring the late Kurosawa Akira. So it's kind of fun to make it look like a Rashomon or Seven Samurai, that type of era of movie style of film when it comes to the game itself. So you can play it in that mode. You can switch. There are several different gaming mechanics when it comes to the sword and when it comes to parrying and things like that. So and it's very Assassin's Creed in style too. It's everything that Assassin's Creed isn't. It's a really enjoyable game. But yeah, I've also been playing Borderlands 3. Most of my live streams recently have been just continuing doing side quests and enjoying Borderlands 3. So
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
it's been fun. So okay. Anyway, so what I'd like to do, so in this podcast, basically we cover the news that's been going on in the gaming industry, especially uh, the Xbox digital event, which just occurred a couple of days ago. But first, I want to go over another event that was a few days before that. That was the Ubisoft Forward, and I just want to read off the list of some of the things that were announced. And then, Dan, I want to kind of get your take on some of these games. So,
Sounds
the
good.
first thing they mentioned was Watchdogs Legion, which everybody already knows about. But this time they gave a release date of October 29th. And the cool thing about this game that I'm really looking forward to is you get to build your own dead set crew of up to 40 at a time. And so basically, all the NPCs can become playable characters. And that's kind of a unique aspect of this game. Uh, Next was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which, of course, was announced previously. They did give some brief gameplay this time,
Oh,
and set in the 9th century England. So, Dan, right up your alley there. And
apparently.
has a November 17th release date.
Right.
So, that's pretty interesting. So, kind of like 1 month out between Watchdogs Legions and Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Mm.
Then Hyperscape was another game that was announced. It's actually now live in open beta on PC. So all of you that are on PC and that are streaming, you might want to check this out. It's a fast-paced sci-fi multiplayer shooter, and the open beta features a new weapon, hack, game modes, and some Twitch features such as customizable functionality. So that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
And then the last game that was announced was Far Cry 6. So they didn't show any gameplay or anything. There was just a cinematic trailer. But they did give a launch date of February 18th, 2021. And it will be set on the tropical island of Yara. And the villain will be portrayed by Giancarlo Esposito. So you probably know him from Better Call Saul and also in The Mandalorian. And he's going to play President Anton Castillo, and he's grooming his son Diego to succeed him. And a lot of people have been talking about Diego possibly being the villain from Far Cry 3. So most likely Far Cry 6 could be a precursor to Far Cry 3, actually, Far Cry 6, I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. So, Dan, what's your take on these games?
Yeah, Far Cry 6 looks all right. I'm hoping it's more Far Cry 3 and 4 than it is Far Cry 5. Because I didn't really get on with Far Cry 5 very well. I think the over reliance on like having like your little squad running around and working in a team with the virtual characters was a bit annoying. How did you get on with it?
Yeah, I thought the cinematic trailer was very interesting.
Mm.
When it comes to gameplay, of course, I don't know
Yeah.
because we haven't seen anything yet. But I I would be interesting to it would be interesting to see if the son Diego is actually the villain from Far Cry 3.
Yeah, I
So
think.
I'm actually
Yeah.
thinking of going back and playing Far Cry 3 to just to check it out. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, the tropical island of Yara. I wonder if it's like a copy and paste of Far Cry 3, actually.
I mean, yeah, it could be. I mean, so like the internet, super sleuths have been looking at this in a great deal of detail, and there does seem to be some definite similarities between uh, the kid character in this and the main antagonist of 3. It probably almost certainly is. And didn't the original voice actor for Far Cry 3 go in and do some lines not so long ago,
Yeah, I think
sparking this whole thing off? Yeah.
yeah, it might have been. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. And then at the end, Ubisoft mentioned that there will be another Ubisoft Forward later in the year at a later date. So we'll probably be seeing maybe some slight gameplay of Far Cry 6
Hmm.
by that point, and maybe some more when it comes to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So we'll have to look out and see what they show in the next event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dan. So let's dive into it, man. So, episode 1 is basically we're going to be discussing a lot about the Xbox digital event that just took place a couple of days ago. So, this is the topic of our show. And I'm going to read down the list of all of the games. There were a lot of games that were announced. So, bear with me here. And then we'll discuss them together.
Brilliant.
So first of all, they had a pre-show event. So Jeff Keighley, Kojima Hideo's best friend, basically, had his show, and there were some world premieres and some surprise announcements during the pre-show. And the first thing that they announced was Dragon Quest XI is coming to Xbox and Windows 10, and it'll be available on Game Pass December 14th. Exomecha, a gorgeous looking futuristic shooter, seems to be featuring giant robots and metallic mech monsters from developer Twisted Red, is a free to play competitive first person shooter, and it'll be coming in late 2021. So that'll probably be a game that'll be huge on the live streaming platforms, like on Twitch and YouTube for sure. After that, Echo Generation from Canadian developer Coco Cucumber. That's a cute name, Coco Cucumber. Uh, was announced. So basically, what I thought of the game, it was kind of like Stranger Things meets Minecraft with Final Fantasy style combat to bring it all together. That's going to be coming in 2021 as well. And then after that was a trailer for a sequel to Hello Neighbor. It's called Hello Neighbor 2, of course, which is a creepy and colorful survival action. And then after that, indie montage with titles such as Last Stop, XO1, and 12 Minutes. And all of these titles will be optimized for Series X. That's what they're saying. So another world premiere on the pre-show was from Square Enix called Balan Wonderworld. So it'll be playable on Xbox One and Series X. Dan, have you ever heard of the developer named Nakayuji?
I think so. Rings a bell.
Yeah. So he is, for example, the Sonic creator, and
Oh,
he
God, yeah,
has,
that's why.
yeah, he has a new studio titled Balan Company, and a new game to show off, which is going to be called Balan Wonderworld. It looks like a colorful 3D platformer that will let you change outfits and gain new abilities. And yeah, we could definitely see more whimsical games like this in the Xbox ecosystem for sure. And it's coming in spring of 2021. So that was quite interesting. So that was the pre-show. Now let's get to the showcase. So the beginning was, of course, Halo. And Dan, I'm sure you have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
So first up was the trailer. You see the armor for the Master Chief exosuit being created, and then you start to see some of the gameplay, which is set from what they said 187 days after the USNC lost, and the Chief and his new companion are making an emergency landing in a ship. So all this was kind of like a cinematic
Mm.
trailer in a sense. There appears to be some tension between mysterious new man in chief, who reveals that they're up against the Banished. So it looks like Halo Infinite's main protagonists, or the villains, I should say, are going to be the Banished in this game. So here's where it gets interesting, though. They say that Halo is going to be open world, or at least that seems to be the case. As Chief can be seen pulling up an interactive map and marking a waypoint for his destination. But otherwise, it looks classic Halo. Plasma, for example, plasma grenades, the use of battle rifles, deployable armor abilities. And then we see the Banished leader towards the end of the reveal. And the Banished leader reveals that the USNC were defeated by them months ago in some kind of war. And this Banished member is giving a decidedly impassioned speech, challenging Chief to a fight, revealing some neat facial detail technology in the process at the end of it there. And then 343 comes on, and they are reporting that Halo Infinite will be several times larger than the last two Halo games combined, and that it's built to fully take advantage of the Xbox Series X. And this is where it gets controversial, because a lot of people after the event were saying that this is not current gen, or next gen, I should say. Everybody's saying it's not next gen whatsoever. The graphical fidelity in the game was very poor. And that they say that it'll be running at a smooth 60 frames per second. So anyway, Dan, take it away, man. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I was quite happy in some regard that it looks like a shift towards like just Halo 1, Halo Combat Evolved, which is a very good thing, I think, because generally speaking, I don't think that, 343 has done that great a job with the Halo franchise. So seeing them shift back towards the Halo that worked is a really good idea. And I'm very, very curious. Like you said, it's going to be semi or at least fully open world to some degree.
Yeah.
And the fact they say it's bigger than the previous two games combined, well, might be a bit disingenuous, when we consider that it's going to be open world. So, I mean, physically in terms of scale, it might be, but what actual content lies within remains to be seen. But Yeah, graphically, I've got to say, I'm not a graphics snob. I don't care about graphics whatsoever. I actually didn't realize it until people started raging about it online. And I went back to look at it. I kind of have to agree. I think if you took a copy, like a photo, a screenshot of Halo 1 from the Master Chief Collection, and put it next to a picture from this, a screen grab from this gameplay trailer,
Yeah.
I'm not sure you'd see much difference. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, it's just it all comes down to basically how they're trying to sell this game and how they're trying to sell
Yeah.
the Xbox Series X. I mean, if this game is going to be available on the Xbox One X,
Mm.
I mean, if Halo is one of the biggest games that they're trying to sell, and I could play this thing just as well on an Xbox One X. I mean, why would I pick up a Series X right away?
Well,
I mean,
exactly.
that's you know, that's where I'm at right now.
Mm.
I mean, it's like I have an Xbox One X. I play on an Xbox One X. I mean, from what I saw in this digital event, from what they showed me, unless in the next 4 months they magically, you know, uh, paste and make it look more beautiful.
Mm.
I mean, I could just play it on the One X.
Yeah, Microsoft very quickly came out to say that actually. They were like, whoa, 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 yeah, we know it's a bit rough, but we've got months and we're going to develop it as we go along. And by the time it comes out, it will look great. But, for first impressions, it was
Yeah,
a
and
bit
I
meh.
heard that they were saying that it was being run on the digital event on a PC,
Ah,
which is
okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
But I think,
We'll have to see. I mean, in the coming
yeah,
months, I'm sure they're going to show more of it, and it'll probably be fixed up and made to look a lot better. Hopefully.
I mean, I
So
reckon so. But, I mean, what I've seen of the PS5 games, you do think, blimey, that's quite nice.
yeah,
Like all of the benchmark, like, look at this is on PS5. You go, oh, that's nice. And this
yeah,
really hasn't cemented the next Xbox as some sort of the powerhouse that Microsoft are desperately trying to tell everyone that it is.
yeah,
Yes, it's
yeah.
an odd move.
Yeah, but one of the things that they did discuss, we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, that I really think is going to be a major seller that might counter that. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, let's get on. After the Halo showing,
Mm.
the first world premiere of several that they had was from the Xbox Game Studios, State of Decay 3. So, for example, the cinematic trailer only, but it looks like we're in for another big post-apocalyptic action game. And in the trailer, we see a woman exploring a bloody, snowy trail with a crossbow in hand. And this time, there are zombie deer that you see in the trailer. So, yeah, I don't know how far this is out, but I would imagine probably a 2022 game or something like that,
Yeah.
most likely.
I I
And then after that, yeah, you wanted to say something, Dan?
I remember. I'm surprised by this because I remember like two. It took a while to get going, and I think even now it's still not held in that high regard, is it?
Well, it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I know that. So yeah, I don't think it did as well as one.
No.
That's for sure. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. Okay, so anyway, after that, Phil Spencer came on screen and he was promising 5 new first-party reveals during the event, and he was stressing the usual talking points, going big on Game Pass, allowing you to play your games where you want to, and so on.
Brilliant.
He called Series X the most consistently powerful next-generation console, so that's where the controversy comes in with the
Mm.
Halo reveal, I think. So and then he said that 9 of 15 studio announcements and 5 world premieres were going to be in the showcase. And then we see a world premiere of the new Forza capturing in-engine and Turn 10. The developer, the next Forza game will simply be called Forza Motorsport,
Mm.
suggesting that perhaps the series will take a long-term games as service model for the next few years. But
Yeah.
we didn't see much. It looks pretty, of course, but we didn't see much. So yeah. And next up from Rare was a game called Everwild.
Mm.
And this is a game I'm really looking forward to. It seems to be centered around harnessing nature and forging connections with other living things, an untamed world to explore. Yeah, this really looks cool. I'm really looking forward to it. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm a huge Rare, or I was a huge fan of Rare. Obviously, the Rare that was definitely isn't the Rare that it is today. But this looks like a move in the right direction, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then next up from Rare was actually not Rare. I'm sorry. Tell Me Why was the next game that was announced. Episode 1 will be out on August 27th,
Mm.
and it very much looks like Life is Strange with a next gen upgrade.
Mm.
So it looks like it's going to be one of those emotional narrative games. So if you're into emotionally narrative games, this one should be on your radar for sure.
Well, yeah. I
And
mean,
then,
mm,
yeah,
sorry. No, I was going to say that I absolutely adored Life is Strange, and I'm a big fan of narratives in games anyway. So this is actually something I'm actually quite interested in. This one,
yeah,
pretty
it should be interesting. I'm
among
looking
all of
forward
them.
to
It
it.
might be the most. I mean, the one I'm interested the most in, which is a bit of a concern.
Yeah. Well, if you have Game Pass, you'll be able to play it game one because that's
Nice.
what they were talking about. So, uh, and then after that, Moon Studios, the makers of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, they confirmed that Ori and the Will of the Wisps is getting optimized for Xbox Series X, complete with 120 frame per second frame rates at 4K resolution. We'll see about that.
Why? Brilliant.
Yeah. And then also from Obsidian, of course, Outer Worlds DLC, Peril on Gorgon, coming September 9th on PS4, Xbox, and PC.
Mm.
And then also Obsidian talked a little bit more about Grounded and showed some more on that. And that's coming on July 28th, actually, in a couple of days. So, yeah. So, Outer Worlds. Dan, you were playing Outer Worlds,
Did
weren't you?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very, very good game. I've got very bored of Skyrim, like fantasy open world RPG things, and this was a nice remedy to that. A classic sci-fi take on that kind of game. And yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, it was going to happen. I think there's going to be quite a bit because there are quite a few places you don't go in the game, but are advertised as being available. So yeah, the first of what I assume will be several DLC packs for the game. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
I hope
excited.
there will be. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you not play it?
Yes, I have.
Ah, nice
And
one.
I'm looking forward to Peril of Gorgon. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, I played it about 6 months ago. It was a
yeah.
very, very good game. Really enjoyed it. And the RPG elements were really fun as well. So, yeah. And then the big one from Obsidian called Avowed. This is one I'm really, really interested in. A new RPG that has an awesome dark fantasy vibe and looks absolutely gorgeous from what I saw of it. It'll hit Xbox and PC sometime in the future. This is the one that's going to be a ways off, but yeah, this is kind of reminded me of Skyrim.
Mm,
Uh, should be really cool. So it's called Avowed.
yeah.
So watch out for that one.
Mhm.
And then after that, world premiere by developer Interior Night called As Dusk Falls. So this is kind of another, probably one of those emotional narrative games. So As Dusk Falls, a choice-based drama set in the American Southwest, focusing on a group of strangers who are all brought together by the same mysterious secret. Game's pop art visual style is unlike any we've ever seen. I think it should be really interesting as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
And then this was interesting. Ninja Theory came out, and Ninja Theory
Yeah,
is right down your alley there, Dan. Eh?
it is right around the corner
Yeah,
from me. Yep.
yeah. Hellblade 2 Sanua Saga. The game will be set in Iceland, so
Oh,
which the team surveyed in person to help make as authentic a game world as possible. But the thing that surprised me, no other info on gameplay or any kind of release date or anything. Just
right.
talking about the land that they surveyed,
Yeah.
So
That's actually quite interesting because one, that game doesn't need it does absolutely does not need a sequel. That's a really weird choice to have a sequel. Um, uh, yeah, didn't they have an online like arena kind of shooter come out recently?
hmm, that's
Bleeding
interesting.
Edge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Bleeding Edge. Yeah,
and Well, it's weird because, like you said, they're around, and they literally are. From where I work, they're like a stone's throw away from where I work in Cambridge, and they have their offices there now. And they used to have a big board outside with adverts for Senua's Sacrifice, the first game,
Yeah.
Hellblade, and then they put their Bleeding Edge one on, but then they've taken it away and put Senua's Sacrifice back on.
Hmm.
So it made me just talking just now. It made me realize maybe there's something not quite right about the whole Bleeding Edge thing. I don't know, but yes, this I'm looking forward to. And one of the good things about Senua's Sacrifice is it was short.
Yes. Yes.
It did what it had to do. It gave you the story, it gave you the beats, and then it got out. Brilliant. So hopefully they'll keep it up. Because I don't need another 60-hour emotionally wrought game.
I don't think it's going to be that long, but
no, I really hope not. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be just as long or maybe a little longer as the first game. I mean, I think that would be perfect. Yeah. Yeah. And next, Double Fine came out and showed off more of Psychonauts 2, complete with Jack Black in-house to help provide the game's theme music.
That's right.
Some entrancingly colorful and trippy platforming gameplay. But as with Hellblade 2, no release date. But yeah, I'm excited about that game too. And I'm excited that Jack Black is involved in it.
Somehow. Yeah, that's cool. That's an exclusive, isn't it? Psychonauts 2, or is it going to be on other things as well?
I think Psychonauts 2 will be on other platforms as well.
Good.
I think because they were acquired by Xbox after the beginning of the development.
That's what I was worried about. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. Next was Sarah Bond, who's the head of Xbox partnerships and ecosystems. She discussed Bungie and Destiny 2 is coming to Xbox Series X this fall and will even come to Xbox Game Pass in September, complete with all previous expansions.
Yeah.
So we're getting a fresh look at Destiny 2 Beyond Light in the trailers. It was a major new expansion that has some captivatingly icy new environments and plenty of exciting new enemies and abilities. So Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will have access via mobile from the cloud. So they will be able to take advantage of xCloud with this.
Oh.
Yeah.
So are they fragmenting the Game Pass stuff then? It's going to be different degrees of Game Pass.
I think it's all going to Game Pass.
Oh,
everything.
What? And the Ultimate. Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you have a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, then you'll be able to play it in the cloud.
Wow.
So on any device. So
wow.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
It is, yeah.
So next, the world premiere console launch exclusive. So now they're getting into some console launch exclusives as well. Stalker 2. Stalker 2 is a brand new third-party game that looks incredibly eerie and post-apocalyptic. There's abandoned fields, weird monster fetuses in labs, and an overall sense of unease. So coming soon. There was no release date, but
no, that'll be a while, I reckon.
Yeah.
The original Stalker is like nails. It's a very good, very tough game.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting.
Yeah. And then next was the world premiere console launch exclusive Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. It's a dark, murky shooter with some truly terrifying enemies. Will be out in 2021. So another game a little ways out. And then the world premiere console launch exclusive of Tetris Effect Connected. So, of course, we already have Tetris Effect, but this is another one. Yeah, Tetris Effect Connected. It's coming to Xbox, bringing multiplayer to the unique, serene version of the world's most iconic puzzle game. Holiday 2020. So it might be a launch title with the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
So
that'd be good.
Then another world premiere they talked about. Another console launch exclusive, The Gunk, from Image and Form Games, makers of SteamWorld. Comes a cool looking third-person action game that looks both colorful and grimy. For example, think of Nintendo meets Gears of War.
Okay, that's nice.
So,
I like. Yeah, their games are pretty damn good. So that should be quite interesting. Actually, they've got a very definite art style to them. So yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah. And next was a console launch exclusive, The Medium. This was the game I am pretty much looking forward to the most. It's a trippy horror action game that lets you seamlessly slip between multiple realities.
Oh,
it reminds us a bit of Control. I got a lot of Control vibes when I was looking at this.
Mm.
So mixed with a really sinister take on Zelda's Light and Dark Worlds.
Yeah.
One of my most anticipated games for the Xbox Series X. Yeah, Dan, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, it looks all right. I'm a big fan of shifting dimensions. I got a bit of a more of a Soul Reaver from back on the PS1 vibe from it. But yeah, it looks good.
Hmm.
It's fun.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, next up on the list is a world premiere console launch exclusive, Phantasy Star Online 2. New Genesis looks like a meaty new expansion to the popular online RPG, and it will be released in 2021. Dan, have you ever played Phantasy Star Online?
I played a little bit of it back when it was on the Dreamcast.
Ah,
So 20 odd years ago.
cool.
Yes. But of course,
Excellent.
I've no idea what this is about nowadays. I'm sure it's very involved.
Okay. The next up was the console launch exclusive Crossfire X, which is
Mm.
strikingly lifelike and gritty shooter that looks to take full advantage of the Series X, coming sometime later this year.
What?
So that was interesting. A lot of friends of mine on the Discord that I'm Discord group that I'm involved with.
Yeah.
They were saying that they were more interested in Crossfire X than they were Halo Infinite. So
Oh, that is
kind of
interesting.
interesting. So
It's got Remedy on board, so that's a good thing. I like Remedy. They're good.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay. And then next up is they discussed towards the end of the show 10 world premieres, 22 console launch exclusives coming to Series X, and games optimized for Series X, yada, yada, yada.
Blah, blah, blah. Yep.
Yeah. More to share later this year, of course. All games on Game Pass, game optimizations and smart delivery and of course, Series X Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then last, finally, one more
Yeah.
thing, kind of pulling the Steve Jobs,
Big
was
deal.
Fable. Playground Games is going to be involved in this. So they're making a brand new fantasy RPG for the Xbox Series X. We didn't see much beyond a quick teaser trailer, of course, but it looks like the new Fable will retain the colorful worlds and whimsical British humor that made it such a popular series. Dan, what do you think?
I'm on board, I suppose. It peaked at 2. Like Fable 1 and 2 are great. We've had at least 2 cancelled Fable games in the last few years that never made it to release. So it'll be interesting to see what this one does. So it's not Lionheads, right? It's not the original devs. It's
No, Playground Games.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which are of course developers of Forza. So they're going to have a
Ew.
separate team working on this, I guess. So
Okay. Well, if I was going to make an interesting whimsical RPG, I'd want the guys who make racing games to do it.
yeah,
So weird. Fair enough.
yeah, yeah. We'll see, man. I mean, like there was just a short little cinematic teaser
Yeah,
trailer, so we
I
have
thought that
no
was.
idea what it's going to look like. And there were some rumblings online saying that it might actually be an MMO. I hope that's not
Ew.
true. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope that's not true. That's
Yeah.
just a bunch of rumors and rumor mills.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Okay, so I that's everything for the Xbox digital event, but there's one thing I do want to go over that really piqued my interest, and I think it's going to uh be one of the reasons why Xbox is going to be quite successful in the next generation.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer, during his part of the address, was coming out, and he said, quote, "We believe that how you find and play your games is as important as the device you play them on. Xbox Game Pass is the best way to discover and play, and we want you to experience as many great games as possible. So Game Pass members, you can play every game you see today from your subscription are free to play." End quote. So, I mean, Game Pass stole the show for me. I mean,
Mm.
that is something that is going to be a major bargain, especially when games coming up in the next generation are going to be $70. I mean, you pay $9 a month. All of these games that were shown on the digital event, you're going to be able to
Yeah.
play them on Game Pass day one.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Why not?
So I think that stole the show. I mean, the graphical fidelity or whatever, we'll see about that. You know, And I don't know if Xbox Series X is going to be a major game seller, on day one, but
Mm,
Game Pass stole the show. I think that's the big thing. That is something that a company like, Sony and PlayStation are going to have to, like with PlayStation Now, they're going to have to figure out what to do
definitely.
because they're going to win a lot of gamers over with Game Pass for sure.
I
What are
mean,
your thoughts, Dan?
yeah, no, I agree. I I'm not much of an Xbox gamer. I mean, I have want to play a odd game on it, but the Xbox Game Pass is phenomenal. I had a free trial, and yeah, it is very 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 impressive. So I think that yeah, having all these games available to play as part of that subscription service is a good idea. But it just makes you think, where's the money coming from to fund these games? Because like you said, like it's $9 a month, right?
Yeah.
And you can play all these what you say are $70 games. Where's the
Some
other
of them,
60?
yeah, some of them, yeah.
For the vast majority, it will be like, where's that other $60 coming from? I don't know how this is a sustainable model. It's a nice idea, but I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, you're right. Sony's PlayStation Now system. I've never even tried it. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
great, but I don't really need to because I've got way more PlayStation games anyway. So I don't know. But definitely with this is a really good idea, considering the whole push towards digital only gaming in the future. And
Yeah,
I
like
think you're right.
the Netflix of gaming, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad shout. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it just seems unsustainable. I don't know. It just seems odd.
Well, I mean, you figure, Microsoft is a $1 trillion+ company.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, they could probably just, let's throw money at these developers, maybe, and
Well, they
and
have done. Yeah.
I was really surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised, but I was wondering if the WB
Mm,
acquisition would actually be, announced. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but I think it's going to happen.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and then there's some rumblings about Sega as well in the
Yeah.
future, maybe being
Never gonna
acquired.
happen.
There's a lot of people out there that say, well, Microsoft destroys studios. Look at what they
They
did
do
with
though.
Rare, and look at what. But I
They have
think
a very good point.
with Phil Spencer on board, I think it's going to be different. I mean, we'll see, but especially with Game Pass and everything else. But they've got the money, and they can make these things happen. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. Well,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. I'm sure it'll be lovely.
yep. Okay, so now let's get into the retro topic of the week. So, Dan, you have a retro topic to discuss this week with us?
I'm still reading the PC Engine Mini finally got released, and I'm spending a lot of time on that, and I'm loving it. It's the second best mini console. Of course, the best mini console is still the Mega Drive Mini, which is an astounding piece of technology and an amazing feat of software engineering. But yeah, someone who didn't have a PC Engine growing up, it's very very cool. Lots of shooters though, which is a good and bad thing. If you like shooters, this is the thing to get. It's
Now,
very 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 amazing.
is there a particular game on this that you would recommend?
Well, I've got a friend who I work with. He's a massive PC Engine Uber fan, and he was raving about this game called Sapphire. It is a top-down vertical shooter, and it's actually incredibly rare in the real world. If you're trying to buy it on eBay or something, it'd be like £300. So that'd be, I don't know, like $1 million or something. I don't know how it works, but yeah, and it's awesome. But yeah, it's rock hard. Like the game properly hates you. So yeah, no, that's been really good, and it's something that yeah, the PC Engine didn't really happen in Europe at all, actually. So it was a pretty big thing in the in Japan and in the States. It's actually a good rival. It actually, came out shortly before the SNES came out, so the NES was still quite popular and just absolutely blew it away. Such a tiny little device. It was really very very impressive. Yeah, check it out.
Is it accessible in any kind of retro stores out there in the UK or anything like that?
So it launched, I believe, in here and in the States, and I think in Japan. They were Amazon exclusive devices,
Yeah.
so you can only buy it through Amazon, and I think maybe GameStop in the States. I could be wrong, But yeah, so obviously the lockdown and the global pandemic happened, so the release date got put back by months. It just disappeared off the radar, and it came out a few weeks ago now. Um, yeah, yeah, very, 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 very cool, and very, very interesting considering when it came out and what was happening in the world at that time, and how these games looked, and the machine itself is quite striking. So if you can, if you can't, emulate it on your PC. It's just it's amazing.
Awesome. Well, we're going to be keeping, our ears open, and Dan will be, of course, on our show and giving us a retro topic and a retro game that he recommends for all of us each and every episode, hopefully. So
Yee.
thanks for that, Dan. Appreciate
Yeah,
it,
no
man.
worries. Yeah.
Yeah. So next up on the show is the new game releases. So we're going to be talking about the new game releases for the week of July 27th through August 2nd. So this is a list that I'll be reading off from Metacritic. So the first game that I want to talk about, this is one that I think is pretty close to you, Dan,
Mm.
that you've enjoyed in the past. And I think you were playing it recently, actually. Destroy All Humans.
Yay!
Just Destroy All Humans. The remaster is coming out on the 28th of July.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to read a little bit of a synopsis of it for you here. This is your chance to experience the other side of an alien invasion. Take on the role of alien Cryptosporidium 137 and terrorize the people of Earth to harvest their DNA in the most brazen action adventure you've ever played. Take over all of humanity using a variety of alien weaponry. So that
Mm.
comes out on the 28th. What do you think of that, Dan?
I'm kind of annoyed because I got it on the PlayStation 4, like the original one. They had like an HD upgrade of it, and I worked my butt off to get the platinum trophy. And like a week later, they go, "Hey, this is going to be re-released," and I'm kind of like, "Oh, I've got no desire to play that because I just worked, you know, I've played the game for hours trying to find everything and 100% the original game. It's like, hey, play it again and glorious, well, a remaster."
Hmm.
I'm kind of like, oh. So I might do one day. But what is interesting though is that I think in today's cultural climate they might have changed some things about it. I don't know. There are some weird jokes and little references that A,
Hmm.
people won't get, and B, that might not sit well with people. You know, the way
Yeah.
things are right now, like people get very offended very easily about things. So
Yeah.
I think there might be some little changes going on. But as the game, it looks amazing, and the game itself, it was great back on the PS2. It was great on the HD upgrade on the PS4. So yeah, no, it's a great game. And so presumably the sequels will come out as well. The second one's way better than the first one, so hopefully they'll make an HD remaster of that as well.
Hmm. Okay, next up is Other Side. It comes out on July 28th. It's a strategy game for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So, Dan, have you heard of this game, Other Side?
I have not heard of Other Side. Tell me about Other Side.
Okay, it's a horror-themed turn-based strategy game where the lore and game
Oh,
mechanics are tightly intertwined to deliver a dark, twisted, and challenging experience. Enter a brutal world under assault from terrifying creatures from another dimension and hold back the tide. So basically, yeah, uh, coming out on the 28th. So
all right.
looks interesting.
Yeah.
And next up, Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip for PS4 on the 28th.
Mm.
So that seems pretty interesting. It's a unstoppable action rhythm first-person shooter. Journey through a cinematic bullet hell powered by a breakneck soundtrack to become the ultimate action hero legend. So that comes
Ah.
out on the 28th. Okay.
Oh, wait, this one I have heard about. Yeah,
No,
I've
Pistol
heard about
Whip.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Next up, Samurai Showdown, the Neo Geo
Whee!
Collection. Compilation on PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch.
Of course it is. That'd
Yes.
be good. Nice little compilation. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Samurai Showdown released on the Neo Geo in 1993, followed by its sequel, Samurai Showdown 2 in 1994. And the series became a trilogy in 1995 with Samurai Showdown 3. Soon after Samurai Showdown 4, Amakusa's Revenge came in 1996, and 7 years later, Samurai Showdown 5 was released in 2003. So, yeah,
Oh.
looks good.
Yeah, they're pretty stiff fighting games. Yeah, good.
Skater XL on July 28th. That comes out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Good.
Okay. So, Skater XL is a head-first dive into the skateboarding world, where style, creativity, and the perfect trick is yours to define. Create, combine, and style tricks with unparalleled board control as you hit iconic California locations where street legends have left their mark. So that comes out on the 28th as well.
That's interesting because like we've gone quite a while without a skating game, and we've got three coming out between now and Christmas, right?
Yeah.
We've got this one. We've got the remake of Tony Hawk's 1 and 2,
Tony Hawk's, yeah.
and isn't there a return to the skate series itself?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow, that's really weird. How? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, and here's a Japanese-centric game, Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost On. That comes out on July 30th on PS4.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
Mobile
love.
Suit Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost
Brilliant.
On. It's a true port of the arcade version that started operation in 2016 in Japan and is still popular today. Coordinate and lay waste to your rivals in fierce PvP fighting combat, iconic to the Extreme Versus series. So yeah, that is coming out on the 30th.
I love Japanese games titles when they just keep adding extreme adjectives onto the end of it.
Yeah.
Just that title is absolutely nonsensical. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. And next up is Neo 2, Tengu's Disciple. So the DLC for Neo 2 is coming out on the 30th.
Yeah.
So Neo 2, The Tengu's Disciple is a role-playing game developed by Team Ninja and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. So
It's too hard. It's too hard.
yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, I don't know. Which do you think was more difficult, Bloodborne or Neo? Did you play Neo?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I could talk about this for a very long time. We don't want to get into this.
Well, yeah, because you platinumed Bloodborne, yeah?
Bloodborne is life. Bloodborne taught me I've been playing games wrong all my life. Bloodborne is a masterpiece, and Neo doesn't come anywhere near it.
Yeah, and that's where we differ because for me, I mean, those types of games, I'll probably throw the controller down after 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Neo, there's a lot of cheapness and a lot of just unbalance and unfairness. Whereas Bloodborne is life. Oh, it's so good.
Okay, next up, Castle Storm 2 on July 31st for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So it's actually coming to the Switch as well. So aim your catapults, command your troops, bloody the battlefield. Castle Storm 2 levels up gaming's greatest genre, mishmash with ruthless destruction powered by Unreal 4, plus a whole new metagame of strategic tactical conquest. So that is, coming on the 31st.
That's good. I had the first one on the Vita.
Yeah,
There you
definitely.
go. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, but obviously not coming to the Vita.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Unfortunately,
There are games come out for the Vita like every week.
yeah,
It's nuts.
it's
I
still
can't
alive.
believe it. Yeah,
It's still
beautiful.
alive. I love it. Yeah,
Best handheld ever. Fact.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I guess second to Switch now, if you consider Switch a handheld, but
Nope.
yeah. So, all right. And last up today is Fairy Tale. It comes out on July 31st for the PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
All right.
So, Fairy Tale, based on Mashima Hiro's best-selling manga
Oh yeah.
and anime
Okay.
series of the same name, follows a spellbinding plot from the Grand Magic Game story arc, enabling gamers to relive or experience for the first time the exciting episodes of this fan favorite storyline. Not only will they be able to experience stories previously told in the manga and anime, but they will even be able to enjoy never before seen story and quest elements.
Okay.
So yeah, that comes out on the 31st. And that is it for the new games coming out.
All right.
So, Dan, which one would you pick for this coming week for the new game selection?
Oh, for sure, Destroy All Humans. Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
yes, 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 yes.
That'd be front line, I don't know. The rest of them I'm kind of like meh, like that
Yeah,
monster turn-based thing was or whatever it was. That's kind of like meh, whatever. But
yeah,
yeah, no, big fan, big fan. I'd definitely
yeah.
play that
Destroy
again.
All Humans. That's my pick as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, so now we are going to end the show, but first I want to talk a little bit about myself because I didn't do that at the beginning of the show. Dan talked about himself a little bit. My name's Expat 2020. I've been living in Japan now for over 20 years. Actually, Dan and we met in Japan,
yeah,
and we became good friends out here. And yeah, like I said at the beginning, I'm a Twitch affiliate. I've been streaming on Twitch now since late last year, and I became an affiliate on Twitch back in June. And you can reach me on twitch.tv/expat2020 and all the other social media outlets I'm going to describe for you now. You can follow me on Twitter at expat_2020 and on Instagram at expat_2020. You can also find my YouTube channel, which I also do other types of content creation for games uh, at Expat 2020 Gaming. And like I said at the beginning of the show, the arena will also be posted to my YouTube channel once it goes to the free feeds. So look for that as well. Hit that like button. And if you like the content, subscribe for future content. And I have a Discord server as well. So one of the perks of becoming a patron on Patreon to be able to get the podcasts in early access, you'll also get access to my Discord server, which is the Expat 2020 Arena. So I hope you can check that out. And like I said at the beginning of the show, also this podcast you can find on Patreon, on my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/expat2020. And the mail, if any of you want to send in any questions to us for future episodes, of course, patrons would get first dibs at Q&As, but you can also send Q&As to expat2020 at expat2020.live. That's my website for my gaming, and we might be able to read and answer some of your questions during the podcast here. So,
sounds cool.
Dan,
Yeah.
before we end the show today, where can we find you on social media?
If you're so inclined, I have a neglected YouTube channel called Press Start to Game, all one word. That's my online stuff. I do some live stuff, but not a great deal. I'm more interested in like pre-record and edited stuff, but I've not been doing enough lately because I've been too busy making educational materials for my job. But I will get around to it someday. So if you're so inclined, I have an Instagram, again, Press Start to Game. And come find me and I'll be doing stuff. If you like watching people farm or people drive buses in games, I'm your man.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool, man. And I just want to thank you for being the co-host on my show. I mean, like I said, we met in Japan a while back, and you're one of my best friends, and I'm really
Absolutely.
excited to have you on the show with me and have this move forward, and hopefully this will become a thing. And so I want to thank you again for being on the show with me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very surprised because I don't have quite the following, the cult following you have on the Twitch and stuff. So I'm very honoured to be here, to be part of this this podcast. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm looking forward to having you on the next one. And with that said, to end our podcast, each and every episode, we are going to do an indie recording artist spotlight. And to end the show today, our indie recording spotlight is on the artist named Marlo. She's an Australian artist from Brisbane, Australia. And the title of the song is called Remember Me. So it's from her 2019 album titled Remember Me. So I want to thank all of you for listening. This is Expat 2020 along with my co-host Dan. We hope to see you in the next one. So take care, everybody.
Yeah, take it easy now.
We will see you in the next one. Peace out.
Bye.
No more talking about it the way it is. It's no mystery, there's no getting around it. When you're here, we got chemistry. We light up when we ignite. We're stars in a darkened sky. When you leave, don't forget to remember. Don't forget to remember me. When you leave, don't forget to remember. Don't forget to remember me. Remember me. I'll fight for you every second. To keep your touch in my memory. I'll try not to regret it. What could have been, should have been, if you would stay with me. When you leave, don't forget to remember. Don't forget to remember me. When you leave, don't forget to remember. Don't forget to remember me. Remember me. Remember me. We light up when we ignite. We are stars in a darkened sky. When